You're asking me to wait an hour to find out if I'm going to be a wife or a widow. I say it's too long to wait. I won't do it.
Amy.
I mean it. If you won't go with me now, I'll be on that train when it leaves here.
I've got to stay.
High Noon is an iconic 1952 Western film directed by Fred Zinnemann that was an Academy Award-nominated film, but also controversial. It stars Gary Cooper as Will Kane, the Marshal of Hadleyville, a small town in the New Mexico Territory, circa 1870. Recently married to Amy Fowler, played by actress Grace Kelly, he is preparing for retirement and plans to leave town and begin a new life. However, word soon arrives that Frank Miller, played by Ian McDonald, is on his way to town. A vicious criminal whom Kane sent to prison, the newly released outlaw has sworn revenge and will arrive by the noon train. His gain awaits him at the nearby train station.
Why are you stopping?
It's no good. I've got to go back, Amy.
Why?
This is crazy. I haven't even got any guns.
Then let's go on. Hurry.
No. That's what I've been thinking. They're making me run. I've never run from anybody before.
Well, I don't understand any of this.
Well, I haven't got time to tell you.
Then don't go back, Will.
I've got to. That's the whole thing.
Kane visits citizens around the town, but none of them can or will help him. The judge who sentenced Miller flees on horseback.
You forgotten that I'm the man who passed sentence on Frank Miller? You shouldn't have come back, Will. Stupid.
I figured I had to. I figured I had to stay.
You figured wrong.
Harvey Pell, Kane's younger deputy, played by actor Lloyd Bridges, says he will help on the condition of being recommended as Kane's successor.
Well, this is the way I see it. If you'd gone with a new marshal not due here till tomorrow, I'd be in charge around here, right?
Right?
Well, tell me this, then. If I'm good enough to hold down the job when there's trouble, how come the city fathers didn't trust me with it permanent?
I don't know.
When Kane disagrees to the ultimatum, Pell turns in his badge. He tries to round up a posse at the saloon, only to be rebuffed. This continues with everyone Kane tries to persuade to help him fight against the outlaws.
I guess you all know why I'm here. I need deputies. I'll take all I can get.
You must be crazy coming in here to raise a posse. Frank's got friends in this room. You ought to know that.
As Amy plans to leave town, she meets Helen Ramirez, played by actress Katy Jurado. Once a lover of Miller, Kane, and Pell, she tells Amy that if Kane were her man, she would not abandon him during his time of need.
To be a Mexican woman in a town like this.
I understand.
You do? That's good. I don't understand you. No matter what you say. If King was my man, I never leave him like this. I'd get a gun. I'd fight.
Why don't you?
He's not my man. He's yours.
Eventually, the clock strikes high noon, and the showdown takes place.
Miller!
Amy grabs Pell's gun and helps defend her man, very unusual for any film at the time. The ultimate showdown takes place as Miller grabs Amy.
I'll come out. Let her go.
As soon as you walk through that door. Come on, I'll hold my fire.
She fights back, allowing Kane to shoot and kill the violent outlaw. After the townspeople gather around, Kane throws his badge in the dirt and departs with his bride.
I can't believe it until I shoot Frank Miller dead.
This movie was a box office success, earning over $3.4 million, and it became the #1 film in America in the second week of August 1952. It went on to gross a worldwide total of at least $18 million. The screenplay was written by Carl Foreman. Foreman, once a member of the Communist Party, had been summoned before the House Un-American Activities Committee during the investigation into communist propaganda in Hollywood. As an uncooperated witness, he eventually moved to Great Britain. John Wayne was offered the lead role as Will Kane, but he refused it because he believed that Carl Foreman's story was an obvious allegory against blacklisting, which John Wayne supported. John Wayne was not a fan of this movie, saying he thought it was, quote, the most un-American thing I've ever seen in my whole life. The lead role was then offered to actor Gregory Peck, a staunch liberal, who declined because he thought it was too similar to the role he had played in the movie The Gunfighter.
If Eddie don't mean no harm, then let him keep his big ugly nose out of my business before it gets slapped.
Peck later said he considered this the biggest mistake of his entire career. Marlon Brando, Montgomery Clift, and Charlton Heston were all offered, but they all declined the role. Eventually it went to Gary Cooper. Like John Wayne, Gary Cooper was a staunch anti-communist conservative.
Have you ever observed any communistic information in any scripts?
Well, I have turned down quite a few scripts because I thought they were tinged with communistic ideas. They haven't attempted to use me, I don't think, because apparently they know that I'm not very sympathetic to communism.
There was some question about the age difference between Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly. Cooper was 50 and Kelly was only 21. Despite their age difference, Grace Kelly was a fan of older men, and Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly had a real-life sexual affair during the filming of this movie. The number of close-ups that director Fred Zinnemann gave Grace Kelly reportedly infuriated Katy Jurado, prompting her to accuse Zinnemann of being half in love with Grace Kelly. The film went on to be nominated for 7 Academy Awards, and it won 4 of them. Best Score, Best Editing, Best Song, and Gary Cooper won for Best Actor. One technique applied to this movie was that the director Zinnemann asked the actors to simulate the effects of recoil when firing their revolvers. This is one of the first films to ever show realistic firearm recoil. Kane also reloads his revolver after firing exactly 6 shots, very unusual for movies, especially Western films in the 1950s. The film's theme song, High Noon, also known as Do Not Forsake Me, Oh My Darlin', became a major hit on the country western charts for singer Tex Ritter. This would set the precedent for future western films to have theme songs. High Noon has been a very popular film among U.S. presidents. President Dwight Eisenhower screened the movie at the White House. President Ronald Reagan called it his all-time favorite film due to the protagonist's commitment to duty and law. President Bill Clinton screened the film 17 times at the White House between 1993 and 2001. High Noon was selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Film Registry as one of the first of 25 movies to be entered when that began in 1989. It is considered culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant to American history. With great performances from actors including Lon Chaney Jr., Harry Morgan, and Lee Van Cleef, and having such historical significance, I will give High Noon 10 out of 10 stars.